And we're live. Hey guys, what's going on? Your favorite candy lady, Miss Eye Candy, and I am doing the review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 7 Reunion Show Part 2. Okay, so I tried to do a test with YouTube to see if I can do it, because when I've been doing these reviews, they've been coming late. Like, well, I get them and then it takes forever to upload because I guess my videos are so large. So I'm going to do it on Google Hangout to make it go a little bit faster. Okay. Let's see. It's not that the reunion shows so far are bad. It's just I am kind of over the talking over each other and trying to diss each other with shade, with reading someone and giving nice quick comebacks and this, you know what I mean? Instead of just talking about the root of the problems, you know, like I'm like, oh my gosh, you ladies are so old. Why are y'all? You know, it's just. But I gotta run some errands, so I'm about to head out. So that's why I'm like, no jewelry, just plain Jane. But I'm still cute though. I'm still cute. So let's do this review. Okay, so they start off with asking NeNe, did she ever donate $20,000 to the Public School Foundation of Detroit? Because remember last reunion when NeNe challenged Kenya because she was doing that charity and they had a little issue with her little masquerade ball and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, you pick a charity and I'll donate $20,000 and I want you to match it. So Kenya, allegedly she did it. She donated $20,000 to Detroit Public School Foundation. And she posted on Twitter, I guess, to show everybody that she actually did it and was ready for NeNe to do hers. And NeNe did not. She did not do her part and did $20,000. And then it was more so, I'll do it when I get ready to do it. And it was just going back and forth. And it was like, I kind of understood where NeNe was coming from as far as Kenya was making a mockery out of charity. Like, you know, when you do donate something, when you do give to charity, donate your time, you volunteer for stuff, it's supposed to be out of goodness of your heart. You're not supposed to want recognition. You're not supposed to want praise and, oh, you're such a great person because you do this. Like, when you do good stuff, it's supposed to be just because you want to do good stuff. And you know, Kenya is a type where it comes with something. So NeNe felt like Kenya was making a mockery out of it because she posted on, I guess, the check on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. I would have said, wait till the check clears first. Like, before you just show me some check that you don't wrote. It might bounce or something. I don't believe you donated it. Let's go there with cash money, boo. You want to be that ignorant. But I did understand that part of it. However, NeNe, you are the one that suggested this $20,000 donation thing. So regardless of if you don't like the fact that Kenya did come through and do it, you don't suggest something that you ain't going to come through with it. So I am saying boo to you for doing that. Like, I don't care if you like, I'm going to do it when I get ready. You know, that was just so petty. You so petty. Like, it's for charity anyway. Why did you suggest it if you wasn't going to woman up and do what you said you was going to do? Like, that's crazy to me. You said that if Kenya matched your $20,000, you would donate. So you should have done it. Period. That was stupid. That was just dumb. So then we get to Cynthia 2.0. Cynthia, they're talking about her being up NeNe's behind. And now she's up Kenya's behind. Yeah, she's up NeNe's last, couple seasons. Now she's up. Sorry, Kenya's behind. And her and Phaedra went back and forth. And someone said something to Phaedra about, don't you think he was wrong to talk about Cynthia with well, first, wait, I'm sorry, all off. Okay, so they asked NeNe what she think about Cynthia's new attitude. And she said, I don't think Cynthia's brand new. Cynthia's always been like this. You know what I'm saying? Now y'all just saying it or whatever. So we go back and forth about telling somebody's business or whatever. Because Phaedra said something about Cynthia's fibroids, like or some shade towards it. And, someone said that was wrong to talk about her. And Phaedra was like, I only did that because she came for me. And Cynthia was like, I have not ever maliciously, come for you and come out there. And she said, well, yes, you have. And then they went back and forth about the whole Mr. Chocolate thing. And she was like, no, I tell my husband said. And okay, so Phaedra was saying something about delinquent bills, Cynthia and Peter got the issues with not paying some bills or something like that. And Phaedra brought that up. And she was like, well, why would you bring that up? And they were just going back and forth. And the whole thing was Cynthia feels like she wasn't doing anything wrong by telling about Mr. Chocolate because Apollo told her husband and she was just telling the story. And then they were going back and forth and she said it wasn't malicious. And she was like, I was just giving you the opportunity to clear your name. And then this is my thing, because it was just like petty going back and forth stupidness. Like Cynthia Bailey, Mrs. Bailey, Mrs. what's Peter's last name? Mrs. Thomas. Okay. If you were really trying to give Phaedra the chance to defend herself or to know what was going on, why would you instantly run and tell Kenya, someone that you know she clearly doesn't get along with? Because at this point, you were neutral, right? At this point, you're not beefing with Phaedra. You're not beefing with anybody but NeNe for real. But I guess because Phaedra and NeNe cool, you was technically beefing with her, huh? Because you was a little jealous, but you don't want to say it. Okay, so why would you go and tell Kenya and Claudia about Mr. Chocolate instead of just going straight to Phaedra if you're trying to give her a chance to clear herself? And it was something about they said something like, why would you do that to Phaedra when she got this type of situation? You don't have no sympathy. She said, I'm very compassionate for Phaedra's situation. Like, no, you're not. And let me tell you why you're not. Because the minute that you brought up Mr. Chocolate, like, okay, you already had Brandon told the girls and you gossiping, okay, which I thought was a little mean girlish of you, especially being that we all know what Phaedra was going through. But you choose a moment that Phaedra comes and gets out and about and is sitting with you ladies, and ain't nothing beefy going on. She ain't saying nothing mean, nothing nobody. She's there. And you like, well, Phaedra, I just want to put it out on the table. Apollo said in front of everybody. Like, how are you compassionate to this woman's situation? How was that compassionate at all? How was that sympathetic? How was that I feel bad for her situation? No, you don't. That is so rude. And I don't recall a moment where Phaedra has done anything shady like that to you, okay? Every time, you know, someone comes at you with the way you did that to Phaedra, you always like, well, with Kenya, she did this. We ain't asking you nothing about what happened with Kenya. Is your name Kenya? Because it would have made more sense for Kenya to mention Mr. Chocolate at that dinner. But no, Messy Cynthia mentioned it. Why did you mention it? If you know what I mean, so mature, so poised, and so above all the pettiness, why did you feel that was the necessary time to do it? That I don't understand that. Like, why was that a good time for you? Somebody who don't have no beef with this woman, who not against this woman, don't hate this woman. Why would you do that? Why? What was the point? What were you expecting? Besides drama and you messy, you so messy. I don't like Cynthia. I think she is my second least favorite one this season. I don't like her because that was just like, I cannot understand her reason. And that's what I want the reunion shows to be for them to explain stuff like that. Like, Cynthia, why did you do it? And her reason was a bunch of bull crap. Like, I mean, I'm not about to go back and forth. I mean, I gave you a chance and it is, no, that's some bull crap. Like, whatever. So, let me see what else happened. They were going back and forth, and Phaedra did tell her, like, honestly, if you really had compassion, if you would have came to me as a woman and brought it to me, but no, you was messy and you spread it to them. And she was like, by then it was already spread. She said, well, you should have just said it wasn't true. She said, I did, but by then it was already out there. You already put it out there. And then they start going back and forth with, you know, win a case, get a case, stop having cases, you know, blah, 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 win a case. Remember the one season, was it last season, when Kenya just kept saying, bye, Felicia, bye, Felicia, bye, Felicia. That's what Cynthia started doing. The first win a case was kind of like, ooh, win a case. Oh, you know, but then it was just like, win a case. It's kind of like NeNe's, you're right, I'm wrong. You're right, I'm wrong. They're right, and I'm wrong. They're right, and I'm wrong. Like, over and over again. Shut up. Like, I was just like, these women is driving me crazy. It was just driving me so crazy. All right, then we get to Kandi and Phaedra. They talked about how it was kind of messed up for Kandi to say that she compared Phaedra's husband going to jail. And, you know, she said, well, I understand that, but I had my tour being canceled. And I'm dealing with that. And I understand the severity of that because it's not just you. And Candy was thinking about the other people, like people that she had to let down and say, I'm sorry, I know you had set away this time, did all these rehearsals and stuff to go on tour, make this money. We're going to make that money. My thing is, look at this, honey. If I already invested my times and hours in rehearsal and I ain't getting paid for that, I've been mad. Like, some people got bills and you just stopping and rehearsing over and over and over again not to get no money. I hope Candy paid them people, maybe not as much, you know, for the tour because they ain't going to tour, but for the rehearsing and for the time they put in for that and just wrote it off like at a tax write-off or something, because I'd be pissed, you know, pissed. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Okay, so Candy gives excuses basically about why you know, she wasn't there for Phaedra. Yes, I did have this tour going on. On top of that, I had someone that I'm close to that was going through a jail situation as well. As, you know, I have a daughter and my mom, and I got a new husband. Like, you know, she got life, and life does happen. I understand that. And Phaedra says that it was different. It was different. She said that she was reaching out to Candy, and then Candy told her that that she was texting the wrong number. This is my thing. Okay. Because Candy didn't deny that she told Phaedra, "Oh, you was texting the wrong phone number." Okay, Candy did not deny that. So that must have been true. That, you know, Candy told Phaedra, "Oh, you been hitting me up? Well, you've been texting the wrong number." So Phaedra been texting a certain number, I don't know for how long, but getting no responses. Then Candy finally reaches out to her like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, you was texting the wrong number." Well, this is how I feel about that. Yeah, I like my shirt. My boobs is out, and this is bothering me because I didn't want y'all to know how big they were. But whatever. So she says that she was texting the wrong number. And this is my thing, guys. I have a friend, we're close, Ace Bucco, this is my girl. And I guess maybe Candy and Phaedra weren't as tight as we all was thinking. Because with my friends, like, if I change my number that day, I'm like, hey, I got a new number, you know, like, to the people. Or, you know how we are on Facebook. I lost my phone. I got a new phone. Everybody hit me up. You know, you say something on Instagram, Facebook to people that know me and know my number, hit me up, send the email to your friend, especially when you know your friend is going through some stuff. You got a new number and she texting the wrong number and you ain't even let her know. Like, really? Like, I think that's some bull crap. Yeah, that's a bunch of bull. That just was stupid. So then another thing was, Phaedra said nobody really commented on this, but I wrote it down. And she said that Candy was having events and not inviting Phaedra. She was having certain things she was doing and she wasn't including Phaedra. And Candy wants to get up there and be crying and stuff like, well, I've been a friend with you and I took off of work and cleared my schedule to go watch you graduate. That's what friends do. Like, do you want a cookie because you want to see your friend graduate? Who has a friend and their friend graduates? Like, from high school, from college, I was at my friends' graduations too, and that's because they my friends. It wasn't, oh, I took off work or I rescheduled my day so I could be there for your graduation. Yes, as you should. You know why? Because you my friend. Like, I don't like when people do it. I don't like when people do certain things for somebody and then they make a big deal like you should praise them or be ever so grateful because they did something for you. Like, if you ain't want to come to my graduation, then why'd you bring your sorry ass to my graduation? You know what I mean? Like, that was just, I didn't like that. I didn't like that either. And then I understood what Candy was saying as far as Phaedra wasn't reaching out to her as well. She was going through certain stuff. And Phaedra seemed to take the blame of it because Candy feel like, you know, you've been friends. You were talking about me to NeNe and the Portia and Phaedra and NeNe and Portia, and kept saying Phaedra was not talking about you to us. It was just people like, where Candy? You talked to Candy? She's like, no, whatever. And then at the end of the day, Candy, you gotta take this one like a woman. You was not being a good ass friend. And then let's look at it like this. Where was Candy sitting? She says she ain't clicked up with nobody. Where's she sitting at? In between two of the mean girls. And then while she crying, Cynthia like, can we get a tissue? Can we get a tissue rubbing her back and stuff? girl, this is sad. This is very sad because Candy and Phaedra were friends. Just like NeNe and Cynthia were friends. It's sad to see real friends fall out like that. But it's even sadder that Candy doing it because we think you better than that, Candy. And for you to be making these like sorry ass excuses of why you're not being a good friend for your dog when she's going through some stuff. Yes, I get it, you're going through something. Okay, somebody that's close to you that you really love is dealing with a jail situation too. That's sad. And I'm sorry and I'm sympathetic to that. However, we don't even know who this person is, okay? We out here in the media, the vloggers, you know, social media. Nobody has said nothing about Candy's uncle, grandpa, daddy, baby daddy, ex-boyfriend, little Bookie from down the street. Her nephew got locked up. Nobody has said nothing about this. It is not in the media. It is not public. You are able to sit and deal with this to yourself. You ain't got nobody talking about you in the blogs. Nobody's saying that you involved in it. Nobody's saying that you need to do this and do that. You ain't got nobody in your business. But Phaedra's, her husband going to jail is the top of the blogs. This is something that we all talking about. We all got opinions. We all giving our opinions. We all judging. People saying that she's in on it. Let her kids see the husband. Don't let her kids see the husband. Do this, do that. You was cheating on him. He was cheating on you. Who was the chocolate? Who was this? Who was that? Like everybody up in their business over the jail stuff. And she can't deal with it by herself. And I understand her saying, like, I just kind of wanted to know you was there. Not even so, like, I got to see you every day. But, hey, girl, how you doing? You cool? You all right? You need anything? I know you're going through stuff. But you ain't even do that. And then, like, okay, so let's go back to the day that Cynthia, well, no. Candy said that Apollo came to their house, too, and told Todd. And she, like, heard a couple of them. It was like, I ain't even listen to it. She said, they said, did you believe it? And her first answer was, I felt like if she was doing it, he deserved it. Everything he done to her, I understood why. And then he said, but did you believe it? She said, I ain't think it was true anyway. And I was just kind of looking like, I feel like because Candy married and Todd and Apollo are good friends, her judgment has changed and she has shifted to backing her husband. Like, yeah, you're right, that could be jacked up. You know, like to keep peace in her household. She kind of going with her husband. When I think you should be able to separate that shit. Seriously, you should be able to separate that. But this was my point as well. When they had that dinner, that Candy actually threw together, get everybody together. And Cynthia mentioned Mr. Chocolate. Being that Candy's allegedly already knew about it, and you already warned Phaedra about it, and you knew Phaedra had the day before just had this altercation with Apollo in the house, and you knew the girl wasn't in the right mind to be dealing with no bull crap. You knew that. You sat there quiet while it was going down, and this is your friend. This is your dog. She was in your wedding. This was your bridesmaid. This is your dog. And someone is coming at her with these allegations. Oh, no, you was cheating with Mr. Chocolate. Like getting loud and doing that. And you sat there very quietly. You are a bad friend. You are a bad friend. If my best friend sat there knowing I was going through some bull crap and somebody was verbally attacking me and accusing me of some bull crap, and my best friend just sat there and did nothing, we couldn't be friends no more. That's a bunch of crap. My friends, and this is the type of friends that I roll with. My friends ride for me, and I ride for my friends. I guarantee if that went down and I was sitting there and someone came like that, my best friend would have grabbed a butter knife and tried to cut somebody because I got bulldogs. They got my back like that. I remember an incident that happened on Facebook where someone was in a group and they were like saying all these accusations and all this stuff about me to a group of people. And I actually at the time didn't know it was going on. And I wasn't connected to the internet to know what was up or whatever because my Wi-Fi was acting up and I couldn't get on. So my best friend called like, do you see what this crap is going on? And I'm like, no. And then her and my other friend was already going in defending me because I wasn't there. They had my back and I didn't even know what was going on. That's what a friend does. A friend has your back 100. Candy, where were you? You did not have your friend back. Period. I don't like the excuses. I don't accept the excuses. You need to woman up, admit to it. But see, that's what you don't do that. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Just like you don't admit to the bull crap you do with your husband for your mama. You won't admit to the fact the bull crap you do with your friends. You're just a jacked up person, Candy. Go get help. Like that, whatever. I'm gonna just move on because Candy was very dismissive and she wasn't apologetic. Phaedra said that it was a misunderstanding and she was sorry. Phaedra, I'm tired of you apologizing to these people. Get some new damn friends, okay? Get some new friends. You ain't got to apologize because you wasn't wrong in this situation. She was. So anyway, they asked NeNe if she misses Kim and Sheree, like, is it Sheree? Sheree, yeah. Kim and Sheree because you know, was they better on the show? Would the show be better? She said the thing about the show with them, not that she wants them back, but the thing about them was they actually had their limits and stuff they wouldn't do and wouldn't say because they had children. And now a lot of the girls on there would do whatever, you know, for a check, which could be kind of true. But Kim was messing around with a married man. I mean, she ain't tell the name and she ain't show him. So I guess she did have her limitations, but Kim was kind of ratchet. But I can see that. Okay. The husbands come out. And then they call Peter Lou Peter, like Lou Pizza, but it's Lou Peter. And they asked him, you know, why is he still getting the women crap? Why are you doing this? And he said, I don't give a F. I'm going to say what I want to say. It is what it is. And it's like, Lou Peter, sit down. Sit down. Okay. He said, so then they asked Greg, you know, how he felt about Lou Peter getting into with NeNe and stuff. He had to say, you know, he said his wife was a strong woman. She always had been. She can handle herself. If someone come at her, she coming out boxing and she got it. He said, but if my wife needs me, she knows where I am. All she got to do is look at her shoulder and I'm not too far away. And I say, you better be a husband, Greg. You better be a husband. People don't like Greg, but I like me some Greg. I like Greg. I like him. I feel like sometimes in relationships, you need people that can balance each other out. And, you know, Greg has definitely done a complete turn since him and his wife got divorced and got back together. He loved that woman and I'm all right for it, you know, whatever. I'm not the biggest team NeNe person, but I like NeNe getting her checks. NeNe about her business, she getting her checks, and her husband is supporting her and loving her through it, and he got her back, and I like that. You gone, Greg, okay? I like Greg. I'm for that. That was a good answer. So then they start talking about the African prince. With Portia. Portia said no, she ain't dating no African prince. She ain't no. Then she said, do you have a picture? They said something like they seen an old guy, like Portia, why are you messing with some old African? She said, have you seen a picture of me and an African together? Like, do you know? No, I ain't messing with an African prince. Sit down, I ain't been no prince. They asked Phaedra, were you messing with an African prince named Mr. Chocolate? No, I wasn't messing with an African prince named Mr. Chocolate. It was no Mr. Chocolate. And yeah, I remember Kenya had an African prince too. I feel like the African prince stuff is a bunch of bull crap because any African prince after Kenya's African prince is a bunch of bull crap because that was Kenya's storyline. Why would after Kenya gets an African prince, why would Phaedra all of a sudden get an African prince? Why would Portia all of a sudden get an African prince? Like, I think that's just so stupid. Anybody that believe that is dumb. Like, an African prince, we know Kenya's African prince was make-believe. So, like, come on now. Like, well, y'all can't be more creative with y'all storylines and they come up with some African princes? That's so stupid. African princess? We in Zamunda. Prince Akeem from Zamunda. Y'all tripping. Okay, so Peter said he did believe the texts from Apollo, which we know. I think Todd believes it too. Todd kind of said, I just was more so like telling him to calm down and focus. You believe it too, whatever. Cynthia gave Phaedra the opportunity to shut it down, and Phaedra didn't. That's what Cynthia said. Kenya said Phaedra is a liar. She knows her to lie. Because they asked her, how, you know, if you was able to say that Apollo lied on you, you know, and you know he lied on you about some texts and all that kind of stuff, why would you instantly believe that he, you know, was telling you about Phaedra? She said, well, I believe Phaedra to be what she isn't a liar. And since she was the one that was behind starting all the rumors about me, blah, 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 you know, and that's not true. That's not true. She was not the main one starting rumors about you. She was just saying that you was a whore. And I agree with her. When you have whorish behavior, people call you a hoe. Like, it is what it is. And this is another thing. At the time, okay, at the time that Phaedra was saying these things about you, she didn't know Apollo was making up lies. Being that you knew once you heard about Mr. Chocolate that Apollo was a liar because he had just admitted to lying about you. So you already have the knowledge that this man is a liar. Why would you believe that he wouldn't lie on her? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stupid because you're like, well, she believed it about me. And she's because at the time you was flirting with her husband. So yeah, she's like, she could be a liar. He hadn't admitted to lying yet. You know what I'm saying? Ever since he's admitted to lying, she ain't even said nothing about you and her husband, nothing. She ain't even worried about you. Like, I'm over Kenya and the old ass excuses. You were carrying yourself in an inappropriate way. That's what happens. We judge you. We've judged you to be a whore. It is what it is. You're a flirt. That's what it is. You're a flirt. You think it's okay to flirt with people's husbands, which is not. I wish you would flirt with a regular person's husband because, honey, that whole situation would be much different. You wouldn't have got dragged by your hair just a few inches. You'd be up under something for real. Like, I was watching it last night with my boo, and I was like, these girls just don't know. If somebody came up to me and disrespected me and my man, like I wasn't there, and I would whoop your ass. It ain't I would. I got a jealous little person in me. I'm very possessive. Don't look at mine. Don't touch mine. Don't push mine in no pool. Don't offer no threesome with mine. Don't call mine. Don't text mine. Don't do that. Don't. Okay? Don't. Like, simple. If it's my husband, see, I be letting boyfriends, you know, I don't feel like I can be too controlling of a boyfriend. It's just a boyfriend. I ain't really got no ownership to him. I ain't got no papers on him. But if he's my husband, hey, all's fair in love and war. And I am going for battle. Like, it is what it is. So, Phaedra did mention how the first time she met Kenya was flirting with her husband. And Kenya was like, I was not. Yes, you were. She was like, you know, you pushed him in the water. No, he picked up from me because you pushed him first. She was like, and then after that, you were texting my husband. I asked you to stop texting him, and you kept texting. Like, that is a lot. Okay, well, maybe the texting part might not be true, but she did ask you not to be alone with her husband no more. We saw it. It was aired, and I watched it because I went off. If you go back to last season, you'll see my video with Sean G. I was going all the way off. She asked you, please do not meet with my husband or communicate with my husband when I'm not in the present, okay? When I'm not there, my presence isn't there with him, don't talk to him, okay? She said that to Kenya. Kenya went down into Mexico. I think it was Mexico. Pulled Apollo to the side. Can I talk to you for a second? His wife wasn't with him. Disrespectful. And I would have came there and bashed your head with a bottle of Corona. I would have knocked you out, girl. I really would have, because I asked you and I warned you and you did it anyway. So this is what happens when you don't listen to the queen. That's what happens. So yes, I'm Mama D, the queen right now, and you're trying to mess with the palace, honey. You're trying to mess with the palace. So Kenya said she took full responsibility for the texting and flirting, but everybody flirts. And then she went in and said, I mean, NeNe flirted with Peter. And then NeNe was like, oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't disrespect me and my husband. I ain't flirting Peter. She said, ask Peter. And Greg was like, Peter, you flirt with my wife? And he said, I can't speak over all this nonsense. So then they were going back and forth. And Kenya was like, everybody flirts. You did flirt with him. You flirt with Peter. And he was like, honey, I'm not Phaedra. You're not going to respect my husband. She's like, I just did. I just did. No, you're not going to disrespect me and my husband. I just did. See, this is the thing, y'all. This is the thing for y'all team twirlers. Y'all be riding for this girl and saying it's so cool for this girl to do certain things to get your ass beat. If I tell you you're not going to disrespect me and my husband, and you say, I just did, you saying like, I did, and what you going to do? Like, that's an invitation to whoop your ass. That is a whoop my ass invitation. Don't disrespect me. I just did. Oh, did you? Girl, honey. These girls ain't gonna raise my blood pressure. They not gonna do it. They not gonna do it. That was a review, y'all. Only one more. Ooh, Jesus, they just getting to me. They're getting to me. So we got one more, and then that's that. But tonight is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, so I'll be back. Like, comment, subscribe, and talk to me. Tell me what y'all think, what y'all thought, and share it with a friend. We'll talk to y'all later. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. All right, I'm tired. Peace. Holla.